Hello all. There are those on the left that feel that the Second Amendment is antiquated and has outlived its purpose. There are those on the left that feel that the Second Amendment was put in place for hunters and target shooters. Wrong on both accounts. The Second Amendment was put in place for one reason and one reason only. That is to dissuade government, our government, and any and all foreign threats from tyranny or invasion. It worked in World War II. Kind of. I've got a couple other videos where I mention that the right to keep and bear arms kept us from being invaded in World War II, because our military was not in a position to be able to defend against a foreign invasion onto our soil. Our right to keep and bear arms saved us. Our right to keep and bear arms helped out the British in World War II as well. People say that if you talk about the government going tyrannical, then you're just a paramilitary right-wing nut job. However, there are instances in our history where our government has gone tyrannical. Again, I've got to go back to World War II, but it's a perfect example, the best example and most illustrative I could find. After Pearl Harbor, the federal government interned hundreds of thousands of Japanese American citizens, people that had immigrated from Japan, and people that had been naturalized American citizens born in the United States of America. Second, third, and fourth generation American citizens. They just so happen to be Japanese in descent. They interned them into quarantine facilities. And people forget that. In World War II, we trampled the civil liberties of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Japanese American citizens, simply because they happen to have the same ancestral lineage as the pilots and the sailors that attacked us. So for those of y'all out there that say that our government will never ever turn tyrannical and we don't need our guns and the Constitution is all we need, you are either extremely arrogant, you're extremely naive, or you're extremely stupid. The point is this: the Second Amendment works when you leave it alone and allow citizens to arm themselves as they so choose. Now, I've said that a lot, that as they so choose, and what that means is don't force everybody to buy a gun or multiple guns, but if a person is of age, has a clean, clear criminal record, has proven to be a responsible, law-abiding individual, and they choose on their own to make that investment in their personal and our national defense, then let them. Gun control doesn't work. Look at Illinois. Look at Massachusetts. Look at Connecticut. Look at New York. Look at California. All of these states are states that have sweeping gun control. Now, a lot of people out there like to throw in, but what about Fort Hood? Well, here's the thing. Fort Hood, yes, that was within the state borders of Texas, but that was on a federal military installation, so technically that was federal land, not Texas land. Military installation, is basically one huge gun-free zone. The only people that are armed on a military installation are units that are training in ranges that are way out in the boonies on the installation where there's nobody anyway. A good anywhere from 15 to an hour, depending on the size of the post, away from your main facilities. And the military police and civilian security personnel. That's it. Gun control kills. It kills a hell of a lot of people every day in Chicago and LA and New York, all three of which major meccas for gangland violence. So there is an actual purpose. The Second Amendment is not antiquated, and it is not for hunters and target shooters. It is there to provide it is there to augment for our national defense and to dissuade the government from doing some dumb shit that the citizenry at large don't agree with. Because without the Second Amendment, the other 9 rights that we have afforded to us by our Bill of Rights are nothing more than ink on parchment that can be shredded at the government's will anytime we incidentally, intentionally, or indirectly put a tyrannical dictator into power. And don't say it's not possible, because it has happened. It happened in Italy. It happened in Iraq. It happened in Afghanistan. It happened in Germany. It happened in Russia. It happened in China. And the list goes on and on and on and on. All governments, over time, the trend shows, will go bad and will make the switch to despotism. Now, hopefully that doesn't happen here in the United States, but if it does, we need our Second Amendment to be prepared, to be ready to make that fight happen, and to be able to stand up as best as we can against a tyrannical dictatorship. You can call this right-wing paranoia. You can call it fact. The evidence, the historical trends, the facts are on the side of the pro-gunners. The arrogance, the emotion, the bias are on the sides of the anti-gunners. Y'all need to share this video and any other rational videos you can find that make a pro-gun argument with your friends, and not necessarily your friends that are pro-gunners. They're already on our side. You do need to get them to contact their elected representatives now, but you need to mostly share this video and several of my other videos with people you know that are on the fence, that don't really have an opinion, that are relying on a biased media right now that's having a one-way conversation between themselves and pro-gun control advocates. I find it very ironic that the one person, the one TV host that has managed to do a somewhat decent job of having both sides of the argument showcase their talking points, I guess you could say, would be Piers Morgan, who is easily the most outspoken anti-gun advocate in the media today. So, share this and other videos you find that are rational, that are to the point, that are direct. Contact your representatives, get your friends in the gun community to do so, and try to educate the people that are relying on these talking heads in front of the microphones at CNN, MSNBC, CBS, NPR, and all these other left-wing organizations as to what the truth is and how ineffective gun control is. Y'all have a wonderful day, and remember that united we stand and divided we fall. And if we lose this battle in regards to our Second Amendment rights, then this will only be the beginning. I promise you. This is nothing more than a foot in the door. We need to come out on top, and we need to win it. And the only way to win it is to get involved and get out there and educate people.